Hello and welcome back. In our last couple of videos, we have learned what Git branches are and how to create and merge these branches. Now, that's a huge step. But knowing the commands isn't just enough. You also need to know how to use them effectively in a team. What's the best way to manage all these branches? Today, we are diving into practical branching strategies, the common workflows that teams use to organize their development. Our main focus will be the highly popular feature branch workflow, but I will also briefly introduce other well known strategies like Git Flow and GitHub Flow. This is about building efficient team habits. Let's get strategic. Understanding branching strategies is key to collaborative success. We will explore the feature branch workflow. This is perhaps the most widely used and straightforward strategy. Then we will have a brief mention of Git flow. This is a more rigid but well defined traditional strategy. And then we will have a brief mention of GitHub flow, a simpler modern approach often favored in continuous delivery. The goal here is to give you a clear roadmap for managing branches in your projects, starting with the most common. So let's first talk about the feature branch workflow. Now, the feature branch workflow is simple, elegant, and incredibly effective for most teams. It's often the default when teams start using it. Now, the core idea behind this feature branch workflow is that you have one primary stable branch, traditionally called the main branch. Now, this branch should always be deployable, meaning the code on this main branch is stable enough to be released to your users. Now, for every new feature, bug fix, or experiment, you create a new dedicated branch of your main branch. This becomes your isolated workspace. You develop, commit, and test your changes entirely from this feature branch. Now, once your work is complete and reviewed, often via a pull request, which we will cover in detail soon, you will merge your feature branch back into your main branch. After merging, the feature branch is usually deleted. Let's walk through this process with a simulated example in our collaboration project. So here is my project, and ensure you're on the main branch and it is updated. So we will do a git pull origin main. So this will make sure my branch is up to date. Always start from a clean up to date main branch. Now from here we will create a new branch. So let's say we are building a new about us page. So we will do git switch -c, and this will be a feature, and let's say this is a about page. So now we should be in our new branch. Now this is our isolated feature branch. Now let's first add a link to our page in the index.html file. So let's say here we will add a para and we will add a href. This will be about.html, and this will be about us, and we will close that. Let me save this file. We will do a add, and we will commit this. So git commit -m. This is a feature. So add. So there's a typo. So add link to about page. So we have done the commit. So you can see one file change, one insertions. Now let's create the about.html file itself. So we will create a new file, so touch.html. And here you can have all of your stuff. So let's say we will have the title. So this will be about us. I will close the title. Then we will have our header. So let's say about our team. Let me close the header, and we can have a para as well. So we are building amazing things. There's a typo with Git, and we will close this. We will save the file, we will add this, and we will commit this. So this is a feature create about.html file. So you can see create mode, there's a file created, one file change, 3 insertions. So we have completed our feature development with 2 commits on our feature branch. So if you look at the git log, so this is one commit and this is the other commit. So our feature is ready. Now we want to bring it into our main branch. So let's switch to our main branch. So I should be in the main branch, and you can see this branch is ahead of origin main by 3 commits. So always switch to the branch you want to merge into before running your git merge command. And here we will run the git merge, and this will be our branch from where we want to merge our changes. So here you can see Git has merged our changes. Check your local files like your index.html file. So you can see there's my data. I should also be able to see the touch.html file. And if you look at the file, you should be able to see the changes. So there's my touch.html. Now, optional, but generally recommended thing is to delete your feature branch. So once your merging is done, the feature branch is usually no longer deleted. So in our case, if you want, we can go ahead and delete this branch. So I'll say git branch -d and then the branch name, because we have already merged our changes and we no longer need this branch. Now that's the feature branch workflow in a nutshell. So basically you branch off from your main branch, develop in isolation, merge back, and then delete the feature branch. Simple, right? Now this is the bread and butter for every developers. Now the other branching strategies you have is your Git flow and GitHub flow. So while the feature branch workflow is excellent, you might hear about other more specific strategies, which is your Git flow workflow. So Git flow is a more rigid and complex branching model, often used in projects with very strict release cycles or versioning. Example like enterprise software or mobile applications. It involves several long-lived branches. So you begin with the main branch. Now this will always have your stable and reflects your production code. Then you'll have the develop branch. Now this is your integration branch for all new features. Then you may have a lot of feature branches, short-lived branches for new features, which are always branched from your develop branch. Then you may have a release branch, which is for preparing any new releases. Then you will have the hotfix branches, which is for any urgent bug fixes directly on your main branch. Now this is powerful for managing complex releases, but its complexity can be overkill for smaller or more agile teams. This requires discipline. Then the next one we have is your GitHub flow. Now GitHub flow is much simpler and leaner strategy, often adopted by teams practicing continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Its core principles are main is always deployable. Any new development, could be a feature or bug fix, starts on a new branch. You push commits to your new branch. You open a pull request to discuss and review your changes. Once approved, merge those changes in the main branch and deploy immediately from the main branch. It's essentially a streamlined feature branch workflow with a strong emphasis on continuous deployment on pull requests, which GitHub itself uses and promotes. This is common for SaaS products and web services. We will touch more on GitHub flow when we get to pull requests, as that's its central mechanism. For now, understand that these are frameworks for how teams decide to use Git's branching strategies. Excellent. You have just gained insights into practical Git branching strategies. You now have a solid understanding of the feature branch workflow, your go-to strategy for most projects, emphasizing isolated development and clean integration. A brief introduction to Git flow and GitHub flow, knowing that other structured approaches exist for different project needs. Now, choosing the right strategy is as important as knowing the commands, especially when you are part of a growing team. In our next video, we will talk about deleting your branches both on the local machine as well as your remote repositories. If this video helped you understand Git workflows, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content, and let me know in the comments which branching strategy you are most familiar with. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.